1 millimeter braided polyester cord is very similar to parachute cord. The only difference is that it's a 1 millimeter. I've chosen this today to use with the tin cup knotter tool, and we're going to be using this on some beads that have a little slightly smaller than 1 millimeter. So I need to sort of form a needle on the end. There's several different ways you can do this. What I prefer to do is use the GS Hypo cement to form a nice casing around the material. You don't want to squeeze this, you just want to heat up the interior so that it will just kind of ooze out just like this. And we're going to just kind of paint this on the outside, and that's going to be absorbed into the braided polyester. We're going to let it dry for a little bit, and I'm just going to use my fingers to kind of squeeze it into the braid so that it will collapse, so that we can pull that through the bead holes and get it to work. And now with this, I'm going to just set it aside and let it dry for at least about 4 hours, just to make sure it's nice and dry so you can get through the project. So our needle has dried, and we're going to kind of push this through. You might have to twist it just a little bit, get it to where you've got a little bit of material showing, and then grasp and pull. So that's how you get the beads onto their slightly smaller bead hole than the material. What I'm going to use for this necklace is we're just going to use, we're not going to have a clasp, we're going to just use it as a tie-on. So I'm going to pull this nice and tight for our first knot. Then as I was stringing the others, I decided that there would be a group of 3 like that. We're going to be using the Beadalon tin cup knotter tool. And what the tin cup knotter tool does is it allows you to space knots in between either groups or single beads. So I need to figure out the stations. So if I've got 7 and they're 2 inches apart, that's going to be about a 14-inch necklace. But you have to also add in the amount of distance between the 3 beads. So that's approximately 3/4 of an inch. So with the 3/4 of an inch and the 2 inch, that's going to give me a necklace that's plenty long, and it will also be able to adjust it longer or shorter. Now I need to set my adjustable leg here so that it's approximately 2 inches. Now this is the yoke that is on the base of this tool, and then this is the yoke that's on the adjustable portion. So you want to measure from the inside of this to the inside of that yoke to get your 2 inches. Oh, and by the way, this will go to approximately 2.5 inches for the longest that you can go. And of course you can adjust it anywhere in between. So we're going to go right to 2 inches. So just lay this down here and it's good there. Now this adjuster has an Allen screw in it, and it comes with an Allen wrench. So you're just going to tighten this with the Allen wrench. And it doesn't have to be so tight that you're not going to be able to ever get it off, but just a nice tightness, and just adjust this so that it's straight on there. When you tighten it, does tend to twist it just a little bit, but it's gonna hold nice. Now it's important that you already know how to use the regular knotter tool, because you're going to be doing some of the same movements, but there's a few things that are added to it. The first knot that we're going to tie, we're going to pull down the group of 3 beads, and then I'm going to tie a regular knot in here. So you just wrap this around, you make an X here, and then pull this through. So that in essence ties a loop around your 2 fingers. Now you need to reverse that loop like that, so that your palm goes away from you, and then you're going to pick up the loop just like this. You're going to want to pick it up in that direction because it feels more natural, but this is the way you want to do it. So you go from the outside of your hand, from the outside in in that direction. And you want to make an X right here. Now you want to put your index finger of your right hand while you're holding the tool, just like this, so that this doesn't slip off, because then you're going to pull your fingers out. So you've transferred the loop from your fingers to the awl. So now I'm just going to pull up slightly and get that nice and tight right next to the group of beads. Roll this over, pull this material into here. Now, as I'm pulling down on this yoke with the material, I will then push up with my thumb, and that's going to take the knot up the awl and off. And then you see that I keep some pressure on that, and you get a nice tight knot right next to your group of beads. Okay, now we're going to tie another knot, just like we did before, and then turn away. And now we're going to slip this on and pull to the side, but we want this to go right there. See, so you have to kind of guide it with your finger so that that will go into there. And now we're going to pull this nice and taut, and then keeping your finger here, then you're going to go into this. So I'm pulling back and down, and then I'm going to push up, and it's going to unload that knot right there, forming a 2-inch opening between these two knots. Okay? Then we just need to pull down the group of 3 once again, and we're going to tie this knot all over again, and it's the exact same knot every single time. But now, since we don't want the 2-inch distance here, I'm just going to pick it up from here and pull it straight up, just like we were using the regular tool, but we have this extra for the next knot. So we're going to pull that back, pulling tight and down, and up and off. So now we have our second set of 3. Now this is where we're going to tie the knot. Make sure you leave some space, because now you're going to pick it up from here and then cause that to go in there. And then you're going to pull here. Don't let that get there. Pull here. Nice and taut. Go into the yoke from the back. Pull down. And then push up. And that's going to unload that knot and tighten it. And you've got another perfect 2-inch segment. Then we're going to pull down another group of 3. Tie the single knot next to the beads, so not using the extension, and just let that slide down just like so. Now, if you notice, I sort of turn the knotter and then pull up. It seems to work better for me if I pull up. A lot of people will try to pull down and the knot doesn't slide quite as easy. So pull to the side and then go into here, pull down, push up, and you've got it. One more time with this. Pick up from here. Now this is where we need our distance. Tighten that up, make sure it's there. Then roll this over, pull back, and push up, and there we go. So it becomes, it's a little bit more complicated. You just have to kind of think about what you're doing, but you want these knots nice and tight. And again, you can use this with thinner material as well. We just like the way that this particular polyester cord has 3 colors in it. And I think it becomes more of a design element to have the stringing material be as focal as the beads are. So this is the final knot that we have to go here. And you could, at this point, tie on some a finding or what have you. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this piece here at a certain length. And now you can actually just literally tie a bow in this, and that can be how you put it on. That gives you all the adjustability that someone could need. And you've got a very nice, quick and easy